Please at least let my daughter stay the night. I'm begging you." The woman held out her hand, revealing a $2 bill. "Mom, don't try to leave me behind. I don't want to be without you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Seeing the mother and daughter crying and embracing each other, my heart itched terribly. "All right, I got it. Enjoy our lodge's famous spas and meals to the fullest. I don't need any money. Just take your time and relax." And so, I invited them, mother and daughter, who had suddenly stumbled in during a fierce blizzard, to stay at the lodge. I had no way of knowing at the time that this would lead to an unexpected turn of events later on. My name is John Smith. I run a lodge at the foot of a certain mountain. Though unassuming, this lodge, called Mountain Lodge, has been passed down from my grandparents' generation and is known for its meals made with fresh mountain ingredients and free-flowing spas. Zero reservations again today. I let out a sigh as I stared at the completely blank reservation book. The number of guests at the lodge had been steadily decreasing as of late. You see, this whole area used to just be a small village with nothing but mountains. But urban development progressed, and a big city was built nearby. The new city had several nice lodging facilities, and guests started gravitating towards those instead. Mountain Lodge may be small, but it prided itself on good food and high-quality spas. Back when I was a kid, I remembered it being packed daily with hikers. However, even Mountain Lodge couldn't compete with the novelty and convenience of the new places. Now, hikers rarely use Mountain Lodge. Instead, if you can even call it that, Mountain Lodge started attracting only quirky guests and guests with complicated circumstances. Come to think of it, I wonder if that guy is still doing well. As I organized the books, I suddenly remembered a certain individual. This was a story from back when I had just started running Mountain Lodge by myself after losing my parents at a young age. I have experienced sheltering someone from the mafia at Mountain Lodge. I was still young and inexperienced back then, so I really panicked when that severely injured guest stumbled in. But looking back, it was a valuable experience. Well, even with that experience, it's not like the lodge was going to suddenly flourish. Maybe it's about time I consider closing down, I muttered to myself as I flipped through the ledger pages, thin enough to fit in a single file. Then one day, it happened. It's really coming down today. Outside the window, a fierce blizzard raged. The mountaintop that was usually visible was completely obscured, the whole area blanketed in white. Guests were closing up early today. There were no reservations to begin with, and no guests would show up in this weather. Just as I headed to the entrance to turn off the light at the outer gate right at that moment. "Hello, is anyone there?" I heard a faint female voice and the sound of someone knocking on the front door. I quickly opened the door to find a scantily clad, ragged-looking woman and a girl of about 10. "Hey, what's wrong with y'all?" I could tell at a glance they were in a bad way. I'd hurriedly invited them in and had them sit on the bench by the entrance for the time being. Explanations can wait. Right now, I'll bring a towel." While telling the two of them, who were shivering from the cold, I turned the heating on full blast and pulled out towels from the linen room. "Here, use these." "Thank you so much." "Thanks, mister." The woman and girl, likely mother and daughter, looked very similar. Huddling close together, shivering slightly while wrapped in towels. The sight of them tugged painfully at my heart. "Is there any way I can help y'all? I hate to say it like this, but I'm used to having customers with circumstances like yours. I won't ask for your reasons, so just tell me what you need." "Thank you so much." "Well, Hesitantly, the woman took something out of her pocket and held it out to me with trembling hands. "This is all the money I have on me right now, but—" In her hand was clutched a $2 bill. With an expression that seemed crushed by remorse, she looked at me and apologized profusely. "Please at least let my daughter stay the night. I'm begging you." "Is that all?" "That's an easy request. I can accept this, though. You keep it." "But I can't possibly. In exchange, you're going to stay with her. You're her mom, right? You shouldn't do things that make your daughter cry." Startled by my words, the woman looked over at the girl beside her. The girl was crying softly, tears streaming down her face. "Mom, don't try to leave me behind. I don't want to be without you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The woman tightly embraced the crying girl. After waiting for their muffled sobs to subside, I went to the front desk to get a room key. "Here, Go up to the second floor. It's the room at the very end. Make yourselves at home. Are you sure this is okay, Jar? Don't worry about it. Plus, there aren't any other guests tonight. While you're at it, warm up in the spas and have some dinner. I don't need any money. Just take your time and relax. We couldn't possibly impose that much. Just as the woman started to politely decline, the girl's stomach let out a loud growl. Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm really hungry and I want to get in the spas too. Oh, you, ha. That's a good sign. She's feeling at ease now. Atta girl, now go warm up in the spas first. Let me know when y'all are done. I'll have a meal waiting in your room. Badly trying to sound more formal and joking, the woman finally seemed to relax a bit and smiled. Thank you so much. We'll gratefully take you up on your kind offer then. Thanks, mister. Sure thing. Take your time and enjoy Joy Mountain Lodge's famous spas and lodge cuisine. After welcoming the mother and daughter into the lodge and showing them to the spas, I immediately started preparing a meal. Alrighty then, it's been a while since I've made a proper meal. Standing in the kitchen, I began cooking dishes specifically for that mother and daughter. I've always enjoyed cooking. I grew up watching the backs of my grandfather and father, who were both chefs. Let's see, maybe a hot pot to warm them up and include more sweet dishes. There's no set menu for the cuisine at Mountain Lodge. I make a point to tailor it to each guest's needs. This has been our philosophy since the lodge was founded. As I finished preparing each dish one by one, I heard the pitter-patter of footsteps approaching from the hallway outside. Mister, we're done with our bath. Upon hearing her voice resound loudly, I felt relieved, thinking she's gotten quite lively now. Parting the curtains separating the kitchen and hallway, I found the mother and daughter looking thoroughly warmed up. Thank you so much, truly. You even prepared bathrooms for us. Don't mention it. No need to hold back. You're going to have dinner soon, right? It'll be ready in a bit, so could you wait in your room? Yes, thank you very much. Come on, sweetie, let's go. The woman expressed her sincere gratitude and headed towards the guest room, holding the girl's hand. They're still a bit wary of me, huh? The woman never called her daughter by name in front of me. It didn't seem accidental, but rather intentional. Well, they probably didn't expect the lodge they turned to for help to be run by such a rough-looking guy all alone. As a mother shouldering some heavy circumstances, I thought it was the right call. I just hope they can relax and rest up a bit. With that wish, I started putting the finishing touches on the meal. Wow, amazing. It looks so yummy. When I brought the food to the guest room and laid it out on the table, the girl's eyes sparkled with delight. Mister, can I really eat all this? Sure can. There's plenty more where that came from, so don't hold back and eat your fill. Yay, thank you, mister. Time to dig in. After saying the quick prayer, the girl started eating the food with gusto. Meanwhile, the mother watched over her daughter's delight with a gentle gaze as she slowly ate. How is it? Do you like it? Yes, it's been so long since we've had such a luxurious meal. Glad to hear it. Take your time and savor it. If there's anything else you need, just holler. I really can't thank you enough for everything. Hey, we all help each other out in times of need, right? Don't do anything today. Just rest and relax, okay? Thank you so much. As I finished serving the meal and was about to leave the guest room, the woman turned to face me and graciously thanked me with a nod. Her refined mannerisms made me think that she must come from a distinguished family. It seemed the troubling circumstances surrounding them ran quite deep. Early the next morning, as I was preparing breakfast, the mother and daughter from last night came out to the front desk together. Mister, good morning. Thank you again for everything last night. The daughter, spotting me, waved cheerfully while the mother graciously nodded her head in a deep, respectful manner. What's this? You all heading out already? Yes, we really can't impose on your kindness any further. Well, that's fine and all, but hey, you got some place to go? The woman looked flustered at my question. Good grief, I sighed. Well, anyhow, at least have some breakfast before you go. I already got it ready and all, but it's all right. You don't gotta be so on guard. At the very least, there ain't nobody here who'd hurt you too. When I said that, the woman looked at me with a start. Then she hung her head, looking apologetic. I'm sorry. No need to apologize. You're a wise mother. Now, come on, let's have some breakfast first. I led the mother and daughter to the dining room and laid out the morning meal I had prepared on the table. Thank you, mister. Time to eat, the daughter said, happily digging into her food. But beside her, the mother had a gloomy expression and didn't even try to touch her meal. What's wrong? You feeling sick? No, it's not that, but I prompted her to continue. Come on, out with it. Maybe there's something I can do to help. Even just saying it might make you feel better. She hesitated, wanting to say something. She was silent for a while but eventually opened her mouth with a troubled expression. The truth is, my husband's company went bankrupt. Because of that, he disappeared, leaving behind massive debts for me and our daughter. I see. So you're being chased by debt collectors then? Yes, I'm so ashamed. She didn't seem to be lying, and if she was originally the wife of a company president, it made sense why her mannerisms were so refined. You haven't been able to divorce your husband? No, my husband disappeared, leaving everything as is, so there's nothing I can do about it right now. I see. Do you have anywhere you can turn to, like your parents' place? When my parents found out about my husband's downfall, they told me not to come back. I never got along well with them to begin with, so I had no intention of relying on them anyway. Mom, what's wrong? Suddenly, I saw darkness in her eyes as her expression clouded over. She stared into the void, not responding to her daughter's worried question beside her. This is bad. I felt a sense of urgency. I recognized those lightless eyes. They were the same eyes as people who give up on everything, become desperate, and go into the mountains to end it all. I had to keep her here, no matter what. Why don't you and your daughter stay here for a while? What? Well, as you can see, this is a rundown lodge, but when guests do stay, it can be tough handling things alone sometimes. So it'd really help me out if you could work here as live-in employees for a bit. But why? Why would you go this far for complete strangers? Bothered that we're strangers. Then we can get to know each other starting now. As I spoke, I placed my driver's license on the table. John Smith. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. I'm Sarah Nichols. Lily, introduce yourself too. I'm Lily Nichols. Mister, is it really okay if we live here starting today? Yep. Let's get along from now on, okay? Thank you so much. I promise I'll repay this kindness. Sarah, standing close to her brightly nodding daughter Lily, had some light return to her eyes, and I felt relieved for the time being. I had been thinking it was about time to start shutting the mountain lodge towards closing down, but I couldn't say that anymore. But I have no regrets. I willingly took this on myself. I racked my brain even harder than before to make sure Sarah and Lily wouldn't be inconvenienced. The off-season is definitely a bit rough, I admitted. John, is something wrong? Oh, Sarah, it's nothing. That's this month's reservation book, right? I felt a bit awkward having her see something I didn't really want seen. Sarah peeked at the wide-open, completely blank reservation book and tilted her head. Winter is difficult after all, huh? Yeah, there's barely any hikers, but I can't let this situation continue either. John, I hope I'm not overstepping, but would you let me handle this for a bit? Oh, you got a good idea. Yes, I know someone in the lodging industry who was a business acquaintance of my husband's. If I contact them, they might be able to give some good advice. I see. All right, give it a try, but don't push yourself too hard. If word gets out that you're here, they might track you down. Yes, I understand. Sarah smiled softly and immediately started making a call to someone from the lodge's payphone. The results were great. Based on the advice she got, Sarah improved all sorts of systems at the lodge, from the reservation system to the website and management of various social media, and started heavily advertising the lodge. Sarah's skills, honed from supporting her husband's work behind the scenes, exceeded my expectations. Then, as the number of guests at the lodge gradually increased, Lily also started helping out with work at the lodge. Welcome. Welcome to Mountain Lodge. Oh my, what an adorable hostess. Don't you think, honey? Jess, she looks about the same age as our granddaughter. How impressive. Thank you so much. Let me show you to your room. Please come this way. Lily's cute and lively customer service greatly livened up Mountain Lodge. As an excellent poster girl of the mountains far from town, there was a small lodge where you could enjoy high-quality spas and delicious meals. That reputation spread rapidly, and guests started returning to Mountain Lodge. Then it suddenly happened. Yo, we're coming in. In the middle of the busy time, after all the day's checkouts were done and cleaning and meal prep were starting, a bunch of thuggish guys gathered at the lodge's entrance. What's this? You guys need something. At this point, I had an inkling. After impressing upon Sarah and Lily, who were cleaning the guest rooms on the second floor, to hide, I went to deal with the situation. You the owner here? Yeah, that's right. This woman's here, ain't she? The photo the man showed me was, as expected, of Sarah. I stared at it intently and shook my head. Don't know about that. Don't play dumb. We know everything. Hand over the woman. That's right. If you obediently hand over the woman, we won't cause trouble for you, man. Like I said, I don't know her. If you've got no business here, scram. What did you say? We're being polite here and you're getting all high and mighty. Hey bro, you know this woman's got debts. If you really want to protect her, you could pay off her debts for her, you know. The men glared at me menacingly, getting closer and closer. Guess I got to be ready to lose a tooth or two, I thought as I kept my mouth shut. Right then. Hey, what's taking so long to bring back one or two women? Another mafia member appeared at the entrance. I felt like I'd seen that man's face somewhere before and pondered for a moment. Boss. Thank you for your trouble. Boss, please tell him this owner keeps protecting the women. Huh. What's that? Hey you, that true? Wait, could it be you're the guy from... The man, who seemed to be a mafia underboss, gaped at me in astonishment. Our eyes met, and I finally remembered. I had met this man once before. Hey, you bastards, apologize now. What's this all of a sudden? Yeah, what gives, boss? Shut up and apologize right now. You're being too arrogant. I'm telling you, who the hell do you think this person is? The underboss forcefully shoved the mafia members' heads down, his face pale. Our young men have been terribly rude, Mr. Smith. So you are the guy from back then. We only met for a moment, but you remembered me? Well, of course, I wouldn't forget. Mr. Smith, you saved our boss's life. Saved his life? The boss? That's what I'm telling you. You should have already apologized and shut your mouths. Eek, yes, sir. Now, underboss, please don't shout so loudly. You're scaring my employees. Yes, I'm so sorry, Mr. Smith. The underlings and the underboss apologized to me profusely. Yeah, this was about 10 years ago. It was a day with a terrible storm. Having lost my parents around that time and somehow managing the lodge alone, I was hanging around absent-mindedly inside the quiet lodge with not a single guest. It's lonely, but it can't be helped in this weather. Back then, we still had a decent number of guests, but on days with bad weather like this, there's no denying the lodge was often dead silent. The time for same-day reservations had passed, and I was about to take a break myself when I heard a loud crashing sound from the entrance. What's that? Did the wind blow something in? I cautiously approached the entrance and opened the door. Whoa! At that moment, something large fell towards the inside of the entrance, and I involuntarily let out a loud yell. You the owner here? Upon closer look, it was a large man. The man collapsed in the entranceway, turned his gaze towards me. Yeah, sorry for startling you. Well, I'm at it. Mind lending me a hand? Huh. I looked down at the man, perplexed. From where the man had fallen, a pool of blood was slowly and steadily spreading. What happened to you? Made a bit of a blunder, you see. Got it. Just wait a sec. Much obliged. It didn't matter who that man really was or that his wounds undeniably looked like gunshot wounds. The bottom line was I had to administer first aid. So I brought the lodge's first aid kit and a large number of unused towels to the man. Later, I found out that man was the boss of a mafia family who had been chased by a rival family and stumbled into Mountain Lodge. Even after learning that fact, I couldn't bring myself to abandon him for some reason, so I sheltered him at Mountain Lodge until his wounds healed. Mr. Smith, I am truly sorry. To think the loader boss I was indebted to was here. No, it's only natural you didn't know back then. Your boss told me to choose a meeting spot far from the lodge so as not to cause me trouble. Is that so? You went all the way out there to see our boss off. I really can't thank you enough for what you did then. The underboss apologized profusely with the intensity of someone begging for forgiveness. while the underling Yakuza behind him also apologized nervously. This was all a bit too chaotic, and I'd nearly forgotten, but I remembered the matter at hand and turned back to the mafia underboss. Would you mind going home for today? It'd be a real pain if you caused more of a scene. Yes, of course. Hey, you lot, we're pulling out. Yes, sir. Understood. Oh, and one more thing. Yes, anything. Lay off the woman you're looking for. The proper thing to do is look for her husband who racked up the debt and ran, don't you think? Yes, understood. We'll be going then. After apologizing profusely one more time, the boss and the other mafia members left. After the mafia left, Sarah and Lily hurriedly clambered down from the second floor. Are you all right? Are you hurt? Did those men do anything to you? I'm sorry. You must have been so scared. Calm down, both of you. I'm fine. Nothing happened to me, really. But how? Did you beat up those scary guys? Something like that. As I patted the head of Lily, who was crying and clinging to me with her face all scrunched up, I signaled to Sarah with my eyes. Let's talk once things settle down, okay? All right. For now, first, we got to get ready to welcome today's guests. I urged Sarah and Lily on as I also returned to the lodge work. For the time being, if we no longer had to worry about debt collectors coming after Sarah and them, it probably meant this life would be coming to an end soon. I felt a bit like a hole might open up in my heart at that thought. Once we finished checking in the lodge guests and the day's work had settled down, I called Sarah and Lily to the employee room. Well, long story short, you don't got to worry about being chased by debt collectors anymore, Sarah. Thank you so much, John. I really don't know how to express my gratitude. She must have gone through a lot while being pursued by the debt collectors. Collapsing on the spot, Sarah repeatedly expressed her gratitude to me. You beat up those scary guys, right, mister? You're so strong. Thank you. That's right. Now you can live freely anywhere with your mom. Yeah, hooray. Hey, of course mister is going to be with us too, right? I want to live here forever with mom and mister. Lily, about that. As I spoke, I glanced over at Sarah. Sarah also smiled a bit awkwardly and gently turned Lily to face her, grasping her shoulders. Lily, listen carefully. Mr. John and us are strangers. We can't keep imposing on him forever. Why? How come? I don't want to leave here. I'm going to live here with Mr. and Mom. No, Lily. Please don't be selfish. No. Why? Why do we have to leave? I love Mr. You do too, right, Mom? I know you do. At those words, Lily blurted out, and Sarah's face rapidly turned bright red. I'm so sorry, John. Please pretend you didn't hear that. I beg you, please forget it. Sorry, I don't think I can just forget that. Ha! I gently took Sarah's hand as she stood there, her face beet red, flustered, and frozen. Sarah, if you're okay with it, would you, keep living here from now on? John. Sarah stared at me intently, and I felt embarrassed. I reflexively let go of her hand. Sorry, forget it. No way. I won't forget it this time. Sarah firmly grasped my hand as I tried to walk away. You'll let us stay here, right? We'll be in your care, inexperienced as we are, yeah. She squeezed my hand tightly, smiling brightly. I couldn't look directly at Sarah's face. Beside us, Lily was grinning mischievously at me. I must have had a really embarrassed look on my face. Some time passed after that commotion. I heard Sarah's former husband had his whereabouts discovered by the mafia and was being made to work at a shady company they ran to pay back the debt. In the end, I've caused you trouble. As an apology, though it's not much, let me handle that man. I'll also have a lawyer take care of the necessary procedures on my end, so please take care of your wife. The boss from back then called me just once after that. Just as he said, the lawyer took care of everything from Sarah's divorce proceedings to alimony distribution and arranging Lily's school transfer. Thanks to that, Sarah and I are able to live at the lodge with Lily without any worries. John, good morning. Breakfast prep is all done. Oh, thanks. Lily already headed to school. Yes, she's going happily today too. It seems she's already made friends and is having fun every day. That's great to hear. I was really worried about Lily's school life, so I felt thoroughly relieved to hear it seemed to be going well. There's a parents' day at Lily's school coming up. That's nice. I'll figure something out here, even if I have to hire a part-timer. So you go to the Parents' Day, Sarah? No, Lily says she wants her dad to come. Still not her dad yet, though. It's fine, isn't it? Go for her dad. I'll manage things at the lodge. Well, if you say so, Sarah. Sarah, who had just divorced, and I couldn't get married yet, but Lily has already started calling me dad, and Sarah is working as the hostess of the mountain lodge. For all intents and purposes, we were already a family. Now then, shall we get to work? I'm counting on you, hostess Jess. Leave it to me, owner. We joked around like that and laughed together. Mountain Lodge was fully booked again today. I vowed in my heart to protect this lodge.